Yeah. Hi, I'm Dean Hanna, and today we're making a video for the STEM MAD competition that's going to be held at the Mount Druitt campus. Now here we find ourselves today in at Petruccian Brothers Blacktown, which is where I work, and this is our brand new STEM room. So we're going to get right into making 2 bottle rockets today. I'm going to show you how to make a bottle rocket that's got fins that are attached with cable ties, and we're going to show you another method of attaching fins using the mini mounts, which are 3D printed. I'm being filmed by Aaron, one of my technology students. So come over here, Aaron, and show them over here. Now these are not all the bottles that are available, but the best bottles that we can actually use are these last 2, the Solo and the Schweppes ones. Okay, these actually splice up really nicely, and you can use these other ones, but particularly these curved ones don't seem to cut very well. Okay, coming over here, we're going to show you how to actually start splicing up our bottle. Now the first thing we need to do, I'm going to use a Stanley knife or a box cutter, and I'm going to very, very carefully remove the labels. Now the labels can be, if you press too hard, you're going to put a hole in your bottle. So just be careful. I'm going to take this out. And we're going to take the labels off. I've got a bin here, so I'm going to put them in the bin. Now, we've got 2 bottles. Now one of them, you cannot put a hole in it. One of them has to be the pressure vessel. So we put that aside. And what we're going to do, we're going to put the blade down a bit, and we're going to, if you look at here, there's a high point on this bottle, and we're going to put a very small hole, and we're going to make sure the lid is on it. With the lid on it, it's easier to put a hole in it. Okay, so we're going to just press down like that. That's our hole, and we're going to take some scissors, and we're going to cut in here. Now, I'm going to work quite quickly. But for those who are watching me, who are going to join the competition, or anyone else, you would be doing this a little bit slower than I'm doing it. I've made lots of bottle rockets over the years. So you're going to be working a little bit slower than I am. Now that there is pretty good. Now if you don't like the fact that it's a bit rough, all right, what we can do, we can just trim this up. And just trim this up a bit. Okay, trimming as we go. Okay, that seems to be okay. The other side probably doesn't matter as much. Okay, now this goes on the bottom, and this one goes on the bottom of the other one. So basically this is our 3 components. I'm just going to pull them apart. So if you're in class and you're a teacher, this is the way you actually lay them out. Now what we're going to do, we're actually going to join them together with some tape. Now the tape that I've got today is called duct tape. And it's called duct tape because it's used on air conditioning ducts. Now I've already got a piece stepped out on here. It's about, how much is that, Aaron? It's about 130 or so. And I'm going to cut that into 6 pieces, okay? I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut each piece into 3. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a bit off this way because we don't actually want it to be the full width. Now, we won't bother about taking those off. Now what I'm going to do, pull some of these up. I'm just going to put them together like that. Put your bottle rocket like this. Actually, maybe what we'll do this one first, okay? Oops. This one first. We're just going to gently apply pressure so it should sit on its own. These other bottles that we talked about, they don't do this. You actually have to hold them manually. So I'm going to put these pieces of tape, for duct tape, and what we're going to do is we're going to just guess that they're 120 degrees apart, okay? There's 360 degrees, and we're going to divide that into 3, so they're about 120 degrees. So that's what we've got so far. we're going to go ahead and apply this. Now this is not going to probably stay where it should stay. So we're going to loosen these ones off here. We're going to apply the tape probably the same, just underneath the other ones there. Pull these up. And then we're going to see if we've actually aligned it properly. And this one's about here, that should be okay. Now, initially you can spin it. And what we're going to do, Aaron, we're going to come over to this table. This is what I tell you to do, get your students. And we're just going to give it a roll and see whether, oops, that dirty table, see. Now this is a little bit high here, so I'm just going to pull that down. That there is pretty good. Now you get your students to keep rolling it, or students keep rolling it until there's no wobble. This is pretty good. All right, we're going to come back over here, and we're going to get some of the duct tape I talked about earlier, and I'm going to, this board that I've made, this is actually concrete form ply, and it's just cut into a piece. I'll give you the size in case your teachers want to check it out. It's 360 by 100. You can make it 350 by 100. I'm going to get a bit of duct tape, and now we're going to wrap there and there with. So I'm going to pull it out. It's a piece that's about that long, okay? I'm going to need 2 pieces, but for the moment, we're going to pull this off, and you're going to need to have a chair. So come around here and watch me here. Now, when you do this, I want you to have the tape over the front, okay? And we're going to pull it on there. And what we're going to do, oops, it's quite sticky, is that I want you to pull it apart with your fingers and go forward. Can you see that, Aaron, as we're doing that? Pulling it apart and going forward, therefore leaving no air bubbles. Now I'm going to do this quite quickly for the purposes of time, but basically we need to just pull it apart and go forward, and so there's basically no air bubbles. It's very smooth. Remember, with our bottle rockets, we actually want to make them as aerodynamic as possible. Now I've made this look easy, but I've done it a number of times, and therefore you are going to practice at this. Now that there is real good, perfect. All right, now we're going to get another piece. Going to do the same thing, pull it out. Oops. Pull it out. Oops. Now if that happens, we're just going to cut that off. Start again, that's okay. And we're going to pull it out, maybe go a bit slower this time. Now the tape that I'm using is actually a Behr brand. The Behr brand tape is a better quality tape, and it's a lot more flexible. Now we're going to come back around here again, and we're going to put the second round on the top. So we're going to start again here. I'm going to wrap it here. Just start there. Pull this out, and sometimes you can have someone work with you, but we're going to be working like this, pulling it apart, going forward, apart and forward, and it should really grit and remove all those air bubbles, as many air bubbles as you can. Just keep an eye on the fact that you're halfway, okay, so you don't get off track. If you have to pull it off and do it again, that's fine. This is part of that process. Like I said, I'm working quite fast. And but I've had lots of practice, so that's basically that. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay. Now, the other thing we need to remove. This is our bottle rocket now so far. We need to, off the pressure vessel end, which is this end, we need to remove this little seal. Now that seal there is called a tamper-proof evidence seal. That is that it's designed for food to let you know whether someone's actually tampered with it and opened it. So I'm going to get some scissors, or you can get these snippers, but we want to just get under there and we want to cut it off, and we want to throw it. We want to get rid of that one, okay? Now, the reason why I want to do that is when we put our nozzle on there, we want this cap to be able to shorten down and tighten down onto the nozzle. Now I'm just going to turn our laser cutter cooler off. Now we're going to take that off. Now what we're going to do is this. We get some cable ties for this. We actually want to cover these things with some tape. So I think today we're going to use, let's say, probably green. Going to get some green tape. Now once again, I'm going to put out a length which is about 350, I think. That will allow it to go around the bottle rocket. Okay, and we don't have to sit down to do this, but we're just going to cover up the duct tape, which is a bit unsightly. Okay, we're going to cover this up. This won't cover as well as the duct tape because this is gaffer tape and it doesn't cover as well. There will be some bubbles in it, but try your best to get them out. There we go. It's a little bit longer than what we want, but that's okay. You can cut that off if you want. Now, that there's okay. There's some bubbles in it, but that's probably acceptable. I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter since we had a bit of overlap. Okay, so we're going to cover this one here. And maybe we can try a different method this time. Maybe just try that. I try and always cover up the duct tape, so if we can make it so there's no duct tape visible at all. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, just washing that out. Like I said, you would probably spend more time getting rid of these air bubbles here. All right, but for the purposes of the video, all right, yeah, try and get rid of all of them. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to attach our fins using cable ties. Now these have been specifically cut on our laser cutter here for this, and depending upon what size you want to make them, okay, this is not a bad size. I probably wouldn't have fins that are larger because they create a fair bit of drag. So what we're going to do, we're going to come over to a metal vise, which we need, and we also need to get our cable ties ready. Now these cable ties, I think, are probably not the right size, so just press pause and we'll... Okay, so now we're going to come over to a vise. Now it's a really good idea to have your bottle rocket in a vise because you just need a second pair of hands. Now what I'm going to do with these have been laser cut, and these have been laser cut to fit this exact bottle. I want you to make sure that you don't mix them up. So we're going to get them all lined up the same way. Okay, make sure that they're the right orientation. And this is called the neck of the bottle. And we're going to get one cable tie in here, and we're going to feed it through. Hopefully it's not too big. That's right, we're going to feed it through here and through the other ones. Oops, that's going through there. Oh, that's not right. Do this again. They've all got to be the same orientation, so don't mix it up. Go through here and go through, is that the right way? That's the right way there. Okay, so we're going to do this. Now, just before we make sure that they're going the right direction, that's not the right direction. Here, we're going to get this single cable tie and we're going to tighten it up, but not too tight. What we're going to do, we're going to try and equally space these fins around your bottle rocket and at about 120 degrees. Now you can make a jig, but for today, I'm just going to guess them. Now that's where we're up to now. Now you need another 3 cable ties. And what we're going to do, we're going to put them in tip to tail. We're not going to tighten anything yet. Put one in here. We're going to come around and make sure it follows this way. Capturing that. Tip to tail. tighten that up a bit. It's coming down on us. And this one here, tip to tail. Now make sure, this is quite important. And so what we're going to do is that we've done this. Now we're going to put them in a little bit. Put it in tip to tail, okay? When we finish, each bottle rocket, just go back to this one here. You can see that the cable tie head is right up against the fin. That is actually what we want. It helps it space it and it helps it stabilize it in flight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just tighten these up. And what I suggest you do is that you measure as you do it. Now that one's a bit further. I'm going to do it by eye, but I would suggest, now let's just check this where I'm roughly, all right? I've got 150 there, 160 there, 150 there. So now 160, 160, a little bit more, 170. All these tails are the same. I know it's takes a little bit longer, but I think it will produce quite a good result. Now, the last little bit, we're just gonna squeeze this by hand. Make sure these are level here, so that head is right up against. Now, we don't want to do it too tight. Don't over tighten them, okay? That's about it. Now I'm gonna go back and make sure that this, tighten it up as well. A little squeeze, and that's pretty good. Now, I'm gonna use these, called side cutters, and we're gonna cut off these here, close, and that one. Now that there is pretty good. Now this is just the basics. What I would suggest you do as well is that I'd suggest you put some tape here if you want, some gaffer tape. But this is basically that there. We're going to put the nozzle. The nozzle goes on the end here. So when you do your fin design, make sure there's space in here to get your hand. Sometimes you can have a look at this one here, which is an early one I made. It's very difficult getting your hands in there, okay? So that's that one there. Now, the other design we're going to show you to finish off with is these ones. Is the multi-fit mounts, okay? And what's good about those is that you don't have to cut them particularly to follow the curve at all, yeah? So I've pre-prepared these two here. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to use these green ones. Now you're going to need 4 of them as well. Now I've got holes in these, so I'm going to remove. They're for decoration. You don't have to have holes in them. I probably wouldn't have holes in them. Yeah. Okay, so these are done on a 3D printer. You can see all the different colors you can get out. So you can really get your students to. Now what we're going to do is we've got these 3 holes. You can have 3, but I'm just going to use 2 today. I'm going to put in this cable tie that way, okay? And we're going to poke it through that hole. Now, if it doesn't poke through, clean that out. I'm going to clean that one out as well. I'm going to put this over here. We're going to get the cable tie. We're going to poke it through the hole. Okay, we're going to do that. Pull it down and do the other one as well. And you can push the cable tie. When you put the cable tie in, just make sure that the head's pointing down. Can you see that? Poke that through there. Now we've got that for the moment, right? Now we're going to get this other cable tie. And before we're going to put it on there, hope I put it the right way. And if it doesn't make that sound, see that clicky sound? That means you got it on the wrong way. So do it like this. Put it there like that. And we're going to cut the tail off that one. No, I put them on one side and one the other. So that actually doesn't matter. What we're going to do, going to cut the tail off. Cut the tail off. And then I'm going to pull down the head. And I want you to just put a bit of tension on it when you do it, okay? Now we're going to cut this off. Now we are ready then to mount this on this bottle rocket. Now remember, you can make a mistake and put it on the wrong side, so make sure you put it on the pressure vessel end, the one that doesn't have the band, away from the band. And we can go on here, or we can actually put it there. I'm going to try today maybe just to put it on the flat. So what we're going to do, we've got here, which is what I've used, is double-sided tape. Okay, really good stuff. And we've already applied that to our mini mounts. Going to pull these off. Now the first one that goes on, you should, hang on, we're going to go right over our sticker. Does that matter? I don't think that matters. So let's just put this one on here. And what you need to do is you need to carefully align it so that you've got, it's going to be equally spaced, all right? I'm going to take these off like this, take this off like that. And so I'm just going to guess it. I would suggest that you actually use a measuring device, which I can show you in a minute, made out of a piece of tape. Put these on here and give them a good squeeze. Now these are also, what we might want to do is just put a cap on there so we can give it some pressure, but that's okay. We'll get a cap here. And we're going to tighten that up. And then we're going to give this some pressure, right? Beautiful. Okay, so that's it. That's the multi-fit mounts we've made with that. For this other bottle rocket that we've made, we're just going to put some decoration, which is all important. Now what we've done here is that we've got gaffer tape, white and green, and we have used that to match the colour scheme of the bottle. So we're just going to pull off this one, and we're going to decorate our bottle rocket. Oops, not coming properly there. Let's cut it again. And let's see here, 2024, STEM MAD. Oops. Lay this down, put this over here. STEM MAD. And put this here. Now that looks really good. So if you want to do that, if you've got a laser cutter, just use core flute and some gaffer tape. Well, that's it. Look, I hope you have a good time making your bottle rockets. I hope to see you at the competition in August. All right, see you later.